Welcome to the Monetize Your Online Business the Smart Way. My name's Chris Badgett and I co-created this program with Tal Gur. And in this video we're going to show you how to use Amazon to help you come up with a solid table of contents framework for your new ebook. Now, why is creating a table of contents important? Well, a table of contents in advance to writing your material helps you get organized, and it helps you break out your solution and your journey from problem to solution through kind of an organized little packages of information and content. And you can use Amazon and look at other books in your niche that address a similar or the exact same problem and kind of get a feel for how other authors have approached this issue and how they structured or organized their ebook material. So let's start. We're just going to use the barefoot running niche as an example. So let's head on over to Amazon, and you can see I've typed in barefoot running here, and I was checking out this book. But let's go back to the beginning here, and we just went to Amazon.com and typed in barefoot running, and you can see some shoes and books came up, but we want to actually just look at books. So hit the drop down menu here and select books. Do your search again, and you can see here a lot of books that are coming up in this niche. And also, while you're here, just pay attention to the number of comments, because this gives you a good indication of which books are more popular. So you might want to give those books a little more weight as far as helping you figure out your framework. But let's just look at the first three here. So we're going to go to Barefoot Running Step by Step, and you click on the book cover, and you can either advance it here or just look at the table of contents. And this book appears to have kind of two layers of organization. We have 4 sections and then 10 chapters. So these sections, like section 1 is taking feet and body back to nature, and we get a little bit of history about the author in chapter 1, and in chapter 2 here we kind of get the big why. So lose your shoes to gain natural sensory feedback. So it's about like why this is important, connecting back to nature and to your body and that sort of thing. So we can kind of analyze this table of contents and see how they structured it. So let's go back to our search here and look at this next book, and we'll take a look inside. Table of contents. And again, you can see a similar pattern here in that we have kind of these sections with subheadings underneath. So you might want to kind of take that approach as you organize your content into kind of main categories and then subcategories underneath that. So this author took the approach of starting out with kind of the debate between barefoot running versus running shoes. And then it got into, kind of getting into the natural, spiritual elements, sort of starting out with the big why. So I see another pattern here of like these people are leading into their books by looking at the big why this is important. So there's definitely a lesson there. And here's some more, kind of philosophical stuff. And then this part 2, we're kind of getting into the, more tactical elements. So checking in on how do you feel, get started on grass. So we're kind of showing a beginner how to transition into barefoot running, how to tune into our mind. Then we get into more technique of the actual like strike and stride or the cadence of a runner. And then, we kind of get into the tactical nature of looking at your feet the way you look at shoes and taking care of your shoes. So there's a lot to learn here. You can also see it starts with an introduction and finishes off at the bottom with kind of a final step, call for action. So this is kind of the conclusion. So it's kind of the sandwich in between, moving from philosophy and the big why into the tactics, into the gear, and so on. So let's go back and look at one more book here. And inside this one, table of contents, And here's a little more straightforward, streamlined table of contents. And it looks like this one is taking on a more just kind of how-to approach without getting in too much to the philosophy. So we have a beginning with kind of getting started, more on starting, beginning to actually run barefoot, stepping it up and getting into advanced techniques, common problems and challenges, taking it to the next level with actually like racing barefoot and getting more serious with training plans and even cross-training. And then also a little social proof here at the end. If I could run 100 miles in minimalist shoes, you can too. So it's kind of, the authors kind of giving themselves a little boost in authority and kind of also giving the reader some encouragement. And that is a really nice way to end a book as well. So that's how you use Amazon and look at other people's table of contents to help you develop your ebook table of contents and your framework that'll make the writing part much easier.